14 new teams are about to embark on a race around the world in Season 3 of The Sims Amazing Race. They will set foot in new worlds, come face to face with never-seen-before twists, and mingle with new Sims. In this video, we're exploring the quirks and personalities of these fresh faces, and get a refresh on the format too, so buckle up, there's plenty of info to come. As the last race was like almost 2 years ago, and our community has grown a lot since then, let's do a quick recap on what The Sims Amazing Race is. In this show, teams of 2 race around the world in rounds that we call legs. Each leg has a variety of tasks which teams have to complete. They can be route infos, which can be travel or tasks to complete as a team, roadblocks, which are tasks where one member of each team has to complete, or detours, where teams get a choice between 2 different tasks. Some familiar twists are also making a return, as well as some new ones. More info from Nate when we get to those. At the end of each leg is a pit stop, which acts as a finish line for that particular leg, and the last team is more likely than not eliminated from the competition. But if they are lucky, they could be spared. New mechanics this season, besides the twist to come, is the language barrier mod by the ever-talented Frank, with 2 Ks. Travel is more crucial than ever this season, so will teams go about it blind or decide to ask for directions? Will the locals even understand them? So much to think about. And that's about all that's new with me. Without further ado, it's time to check out our quirky cast of 14 new teams. Woo! Starting us off strong is Arma and Astro, reunited sisters repping the color black and originally created by user Face101212. Arma and Astro were born to a loving sim mother, but a problematic spellcaster father who preaches blood purity and all that. Arma was fine, but when Astro was found to possess no spellcaster bloodline, her father wanted nothing to do with this muggle. Don't know why he chose to marry a sim woman, but oh well, love is blind. Anyway, distraught, Astro's mother raised her in Ravenwood, all while hiding the fact that she has another half of a family. Astro Rider grew up bubbly and filled with love and spirit, thankfully, and started a cute family of her own. When she's not busy mothering, she's a tarot reader. I mean, with a name like that, it's kinda meant to be. She's a little silly and childish, but she means well, and she is constantly looking for a new hobby to perfect. She's charismatic and comedic, and is always up for a chat about your day. Probably across a tarot card reading though. On the other end of the spectrum, Arma Windling is a spellcaster and your local magic shopkeeper. If you need anything from herbs to tomes, she is your gal. And if you wonder why the thing that you just bought disappeared back into her shop, ask no questions. Arma became a pioneer of mischief magic and also started a family of her own. She does love her family, but being gloomy, macabre, and serious, she is not the most fun to be around, but she does get things done. With a spell or two, perhaps. Arma and Astro met for the first time after their mother tragically departed into the nether realm. There were many questions, but it was pieced together after several herbal tea hangouts and tarot readings. Now, Astro has convinced Arma to join her on The Sims Amazing Race to go on adventures and make up for lost time. Arma is not thrilled about being on TV, or running, but money is always nice, and plus, she's a wizard. How hard can this be? Team Yellow is next, so meet the Bingo Moms, Sierra and Crystal. Credits to Brandon06. Sierra and Crystal first met at a local bingo game and quickly became the biggest rivals you've ever seen. Drinks were thrown, cards were tampered with, choice words were definitely said. But after a few months, the fighting got stale, so the moms called it a truce and channeled their competitiveness to host their own bingo hall and make new enemies instead. Crystal Bolton is somebody you either love or hate. There's no in between. She's arrogant, mean, snobby, and is very used to getting her way. And she will ensure that she does, through sheer insults if anything. She works as a paralegal at a fancy law firm, so like, arguing and debating is second nature to her. Crystal does have a cheerful side that comes out when she's spoiling her children, but she is determined to not let that nurture come out on the race. You will feel Crystal's wrath. Sierra Hargrove is the calmer one of the two, but let's be honest, it's not a high bar. Sierra is a loving mom at home and a confident office assistant in the wild. She also has quite the temper and will definitely hold a grudge and return it twofold. You bet Sally at work never took anybody's lunch by accident again. Sierra is super resourceful and never backs down from a challenge, so The Sims Amazing Race is a perfect platform to put that to the test. Sierra and Crystal are here to bring their competitiveness to the next level on the race. Rest assured that they will pounce on any opportunity to sabotage the other teams, whether it's deserved or not. With a plethora of skills and smarts, these ladies are ready to make all their competitors cry as they zip past the finish line. Aw, meet this lovely couple. They're Cyan and Forest, the most literal team on the race so far. Kudos to Sage Dolphin 369. Cyan and Forest are both biologists who have been dating for about a year or two now. These two very much are still in their honeymoon phase with their very wholesome dynamic, and they love to stare at the sky and chat about the birds and the bees, in every sense of the word. Cyan Willard is a marine biologist, heavily motivated by her love for the oceans and the outdoors. She's a very focused bookworm who strives to better her surroundings each day. Cyan's current project is working on a documentary to spread awareness on endangered turtles and the pollution that's plaguing Sulani. She loves nothing more than to be hands-on and work hard on beautifying the land that she grew up in. Forest is our very first plant sim in the KCU. He's an arborist who surveys and treats the trees. Nobody else really speaks to him like the trees do. Forest is smart, confident, outgoing, and wants nothing more than to be a great representation for plant sims everywhere, all while spreading the good word of all the flora and the wildlife the world has to offer. Cyan and Forest first met when Cyan was interviewing plant sims for her first video project, and seeing her love and respect for nature, let's say some sparks ignited for Forest. Yeah. These lovebirds are very fit with all the time that they spend outdoors, especially Forest at the local Rocky Mountains too. Communication is also never a problem with these two, and they aspire to win the race to take their relationship to the next level. Whether that means starting a family or just having some more money for new gear, Cyan always welcomes money. Our next team is Elena and David, a mother and son duo that are sim selves, submitted by Voiku David 1234. When reality TV fan David heard that the Sims Amazing Race applications are open, he raced to his mom Elena to ask her to compete with him. Elena is also a reality TV fan and said, why not? You need to leave the house and touch some grass anyway, David. David Voiku is a teenager and the only one in the cast this season, so good luck, buddy. He has a creative mind, but he is a little childish and socially awkward. David likes girly things, plus dancing, singing, all that jazz, which unfortunately did make him a target of some bullying at school. Damn you, toxic masculinity. But David is not one for giving up, and a big part of being on the race is to prove to himself and his haters that he is above all that. He is very perceptive, if a little shy, and being a fan of reality TV has only prepared him for this moment. Elena Voiku is a kindergarten teacher, and she is neat, proper, and wants nothing but the best for all her children. When she's not inspiring the youth, she's a homemaker, spoiling her family with cakes and grand meals, all grown out of her own garden. She's usually more of a homebody and loves spending time with her kids, so going on the race and being away for so long will surely be a challenge for her. Elena and David are running the race for their family mainly. A million Simoleons can easily change their lives for the better and set the children up for a good future. David can also one-up his twin sister now since he gets to be on TV and she doesn't, haha. As David hasn't traveled much being fresh out of school, this duo hopes to run the race under the radar and focus on themselves. All that reality TV knowledge has to give them a leg up or two, right? These lovely ladies are Ethel and Pepper, friends and vegans created by Kevin Martin, and they are repping the green team. Ethel and Pepper met at a protest against the Land Grab Corporation for their damage against the environment, and they have been two peas in a pod ever since. Ethel Romaine is a conservationist hailing from Evergreen Harbor and is known for her very aggressive activism. She is dedicated to protecting the environment and can get hot-headed and very loud if you disagree or get in her way. Ethel's great at all things botany and likewise, plus she is a very skilled debater. You'd low-key want to try veganism for a day when you're done talking to her, whether you're actually convinced or simply out of fear. Pepper Kane is less aggressive in her approach, and her activism is more rooted due to her huge love for animals. Pepper's a field organizer from San Myshuno and spends a huge chunk of her time talking to the masses or volunteering to protect animals in need. She's a calm and gentle soul, but someone should have really told her that a bear hug doesn't apply to actual bears. Yeah, in case you wonder about her scars. At least it's a story that she can tell people. She loves telling stories. Ethel and Pepper expect to be underestimated on the race, especially being less physical than most. But their strength lies in their worldly knowledge from traveling a bunch for protests and a lot of deep internet research. If they win the race, a large portion of the money will go to their favorite nature preservation society, so they can continue doing good by Mother Nature. Our next team is an interesting duo. Meet Frederick and I.R.I.S, a father-daughter team from Strangerville. Kudos to Joltik, the best spider Pokemon, by the way. Frederick is a robotic scientist whose biggest achievement and accolade is becoming the hero of Strangerville, thanks to his brilliant work in solving the mystery of the Mother. Frederick is not done though and always aspires to reach greater heights, so his next ambitious task is one that no sim has achieved before: creating the perfect sim. This science project was years in the making, and after enduring mockery and ridicule from his neighbors, I.R.I.S is finally born. Yes, born! So like father-daughter, right? In more detail, Frederick Vanois is an arrogant, erratic overachiever, but he does have his brilliant mind and perfectionism to back it up. Most of his life is spent in robotics and fabrication, so he is very adept in those skills, and enjoys some soft piano music to soothe his stress, on rare occasions where he isn't brainstorming on his next project. The world's first born robot, I.R.I.S stands for Intelligent Robotic Interactive System, and they are specifically programmed to be good at almost anything seemingly possible. Nonetheless, she's cringy, clumsy, and awkward at times, but this AI is slowly learning the ways of the Sims. Wanting to gain worldly recognition and not just being a hometown hero, Frederick applied himself and I.R.I.S to the amazing race. It took some time to logistically explain that I.R.I.S is a real human and born of his DNA, but you know what? This is above my pay grade, so they pass, whatever. As I.R.I.S experiences the outside world for the first time, will her installed excellence win their team the race? Or will Frederick Vanois be the laughingstock of the century? This sweet couple is Janet and Franklin, retired dog parents, and credits go to Room Filler for the beautiful creation. These lovebirds met when Franklin brought a stray dog into Janet's animal clinic, where she was a receptionist at the time. When their eyes met, it was literal love at first sight, the rom-com kind. Fast forward past a lovely marriage and into retirement, these two never felt the need to have sim children, but they do have Cece, whom they spoil as their own child anyway. Janet Sullivan is somewhat retired but now owns the vet clinic that she used to work in. She's perky, goofy, outgoing, and loves animals, but especially dogs. Probably why she was so head over heels over Franklin bringing a puppy in. Janet loves to see the brighter side in life and aspires to make everyone around her smile. She enjoys anyone with a bright sense of humor and can be seen baking or dancing in her living room when she's not checking on her vet clinic. Franklin is a retired veteran with a plethora of skills and low-key a sleeper build. These days, his favorite thing is to just flirt or goof around with his lovely wife and watch as she prances around the room. Other than that, she kinda just hangs with his dude bros as they sample life's greatest delicacies. Janet and Franklin have always loved traveling and seeing the world together, and since they're both reaching the elder stage now, it's time for one more big adventure before their bones stop cooperating. This wholesome couple have no issues communicating, and they are prepared to embrace every challenge with love and laughs. No matter how they do, it's always something they can giggle about later. Oh yeah, don't worry about Cece, she's coming along. Not on the race, but she'll chill at headquarters with me and Nate during the day. Ooh, watch out! Here comes the criminal besties, Jiayi and Aura. They are repping purple, and their creation is thanks to Panicky Panini. Jiayi and Aura met at the Foxbury Institute as roommates when Jiayi was still an exchange student. A typically straight A student, Jiayi was devastated when she got her first B+ in chemistry, her favorite subject too. Always eager to challenge the authorities, Aura helped Jiayi stick it to the man by helping her blow up her college chemistry lab. These two are since on the run as they terrorize everywhere with theft and explosions. True partners in crime. Miss Jiayi Kang probably would have had a different set of traits before her life turned upside down, but she's now a perfectionist, kleptomaniac, evil genius. Hey, at least she gets to do what she does best as a chemist. Self-employed chemist, perhaps? Jiayi has always enjoyed being handy and testing out all sorts of chemical combinations. She just does it for mischief now. She's also a little slow to warm up to, except with Aura, that is. She knows there's somebody that she can 100% be herself with. Aura Hellman is a daredevil that's very cunning and street smart. Aura is non-binary with a demigirl identity and uses they, she pronouns. Dare I say they also have the perfect last name? Aura truly raises hell wherever they go, and she's a certified vandalizer. If that's even a real job? Anyway, they are super fit, super mischievous, and spends a lot of time wreaking havoc around town, as Jiayi makes the goods to do so. Aura lives off a high, and they love not having to set any goals in life. Jiayi and Aura are on The Sims Amazing Race because they're kind of on the run from the police. With Jiayi's brains and Aura's brawn, these partners in crime are ready to tackle whatever comes in their path. Plus, the money would be very useful to post bail should they ever do get caught. Took us that long to get to a male team? This is Josh and Bobby, people! Space Cadets, courtesy of QMilo62. And if you think they look like certain cartoon characters from your childhood, yes, they were heavily inspired. Josh and Bobby's relationship has always been a whirlwind of competition, dating back all the way to their high school days when they constantly competed to be the best in any regard. Now, as junior astronauts in training, their banter softened to a more playful tone, but it's still very much alive. Their best gal pals got a little fed up with their constant one-upmanship and decided to send them both onto The Sims Amazing Race, hoping that they can learn to rely on one another and that there can be two winners in life sometimes. Josh Kirkpatrick is a competitive, thrill-seeking, adventurous young man who thrives in the most perilous situations. A natural leader, his parents pushed him very hard as a teenager, leading to a major breakdown in his senior year. Vowing to never let the pressure get to him that way again, Josh adopted more of a laid-back party animal attitude. He still lives off adrenaline, but it'll be on his terms and nobody else's. Bobby Van Poppen, in contrast to his teammate, is a little more meticulous, but still has big dreams and a competitive spirit. He's also nosy and a little bit of a diva in the sense that he's borderline arrogant about his skill set. I mean, look at him, he's fit, smart, and even has an artistic side. And if you don't think it's a big deal, well, it is, and he will let you know that. Still, Bobby is a fiercely loyal friend and is often up for a chat and likes those in touch with their emotional side. Bobby's complicated feelings for Josh probably stem from deep admiration, but also an unacknowledged crush. Yep, it's very much there. While Josh's impulsiveness clashes with Bobby's serious approach to things, these two are still a powerhouse in terms of charisma and athletic ability. How will they navigate the challenges of the race? And will their rivalry evolve into a genuine friendship? Or more? Our next team is Maria Isabel and Raina, a mother-daughter team and repping teal. I struggled to pick a color for a long time, but it's officially teal, people. And this team is thanks to Fat Sheep Sims. Maria Isabel Peralta is a high-maintenance, vain, and self-absorbed flirt. Realizing that she wanted to become more than the daughter of a farmer, she moved to Del Sol Valley to pursue acting and became the queen of the screen, even winning a Starlight accolade the day she just turned into a young adult. She got married and had Raina, but then scandal broke out and Maria Isabel was found to have woohooed a movie director on set. She got divorced and was shunned from Simoleons, so she spent most of her time nurturing her child comfortably in her mansion. By her time, I mean her staff's time. Raina Early is a kind, clumsy, family-oriented geek who grew up privileged during her mother's prime, but kinda wanted the opposite in life. Just a quiet, simple family and a simple job in tech. To her mother's displeasure, she went to school for computer science and became a tech consultant at a startup, which is also where she met her husband Kenny and started a family. They all moved into Maria Isabel's mansion, and Raina raised her children to be a little more Simlish speaking, thinking it was a way to distance herself from her mother's scandal, adding to her displeasure. As Maria Isabel's savings are running low and still believing that she can turn her reputation around, Maria Isabel demands to go on The Sims Amazing Race, proving that she's not washed up or whatever. Raina obliged, of course, anything to reassure her mom, but mostly herself, that their parent-child relationship is stellar. Maria Isabel is determined to use her charisma and charm to woo any man into helping her get by on the race, and her performance skills will surely come in handy at some point, right? Raina makes up the brains of their dysfunctional team with her expertise in logic, programming, and more. With Kenny holding the fort down, the mother-daughter are off. Meet Melissa and Wendy, twin sisters repping the color lavender.
It's lavender.
And they are created by Brianna91. These twins are gorgeous and they look alike, but that's kind of it in terms of similarities. Their personalities could not be any more different. Melissa Wang currently attends a prestigious fashion school in the big city, and she is obsessed with beauty. She's outgoing and a bit of a seducer, probably because she was the it girl in high school and very popular among the boys. She does have a little bit of a mean streak though, especially towards her own twin, who was not allowed to sit with her at lunch. Can't have people mistaking her twin for her gorgeousness. Wendy Wang, on the other hand, is much more reserved and good-hearted. She's the brainiac of the two and prefers quality over quantity when it comes to friends and relationships. Wendy attends a local vet college in hopes of becoming a veterinarian, since she loves her feline friends so much. Despite constantly being rejected by her own twin, Wendy still loves Melissa with all her heart. She's her only sibling, after all. Melissa and Wendy were casual friends of The Sims Amazing Race ever since they were little, and since they haven't spoken much in a while since they went their separate ways, Wendy decides this is the best time to go on a sisterly adventure. And you know Melissa is never gonna turn down an opportunity to be on TV. As a team, they have plenty going for them. Melissa has an abundance of creative and wellness skills, while Wendy has plenty of logic and grasp of instruments. With multiple languages under their belt too, the only thing that can stop them is themselves. Can they improve their distant relationship for the better on the race? Our next team is sure to be a handful. Meet Niko and Danny, our first exes on the race and repping the color navy, submitted by MMN002. Niko and Danny weren't always exes actually. They met as medical students and were soon known as the couple of the year in medical school. When Niko and Danny applied for The Sims Amazing Race towards like the end of the second season, they were an unstoppable couple on the cusp of marriage. However, some major conflicts in their career and relationship goals caused them to have a major fallout and break up. R.I.P. They then got the callback to come on the race because the universe works like that, and they still won a race, so here they are. On to them as individuals. Niko Gomez is an ambitious, career-driven, high-maintenance resident doctor. His first year on the floor, yay! Niko had a little bit of a playboy past, but has since evolved to be romantically reserved ever since meeting Danny. Despite this, he still aspires to reach the top of the medical career and absolutely does not want to start a family, hence clashing with Danny in their family goals. Danny Bautista is a true love bug. She loves her family and friends and has a very adventurous spirit too. Danny has always enjoyed spending time with her family and always aspires to have one of her own. Her career isn't even in the top 3 priorities in her life. Since the breakup, she has grown to be love-scorned, as who she thought was her soulmate turned out to not be all that. She still has a lot of love to give, just it'll come a little slower. Niko and Danny were the perfect couple on paper. They love to work out together and bake and romance till the cows come home. Originally, they were racing for some quick cash to help with their wedding planning. Now, I think they're racing so they can move out and move on. With Niko's attention to detail and Danny's boldness, they can surely break down any barriers in their way. Can this rage salvage their relationship from the pits, or are they just not meant to be? Our next team is the Gossip Grandpas, Ray and Phineas. They're the beige team to their dismay, and they are submitted by the Lime YT. Ray and Phineas were high school sweethearts who moved out of the big city to Willow Creek after adopting a child. Now that the daughter Elena is all grown up and started a family, it's high time to retire. With ample time on their hands now, these nosy grandpas roam the neighborhood, snooping around for the newest drama. Oh, what's this? Liberty, the next big scoop is about them? That they're a terrible couple? Well, screw you, Jacob and Josie. We're putting that to the test on The Sims Amazing Race. Ray Charleston is the athletic one of the two, and a little cattier and a little more judgmental than the average sim. In his prime, he was an all-star basketball player and played on many different teams. Despite working out every day in his old age, he gets a little sad seeing this once man of steel fleeting away. Nonetheless, he tries to keep his thoughts at bay by staying handy and busy around the house. But don't be alarmed if he talks to himself sometimes, he kinda needs it. Phineas Charleston is the quieter half of the couple, but confident in his creativity and doesn't mind being a little loner sometimes. Phineas is a self-employed literary translator and has spent his life translating books into various languages for the world to read. Never once wrote a book himself, but he sure is good at reading and translating them. Being the more reserved one of the two, Phineas spends his time baking, cross-stitching, and also snooping around with Ray. He would not dare go about it alone. He hates confrontation. Besides trying to prove to their neighbors that they're not at all a bad couple, the Charlestons are also excited to embark on an adventure of their own. It's been a hot minute since they traveled anywhere, and Ray is more than eager to prove that he still has the athletic chops. Phineas is less enthused about the whole thing, but he wants to support the love of his life. As long as he doesn't touch frogs or fish or anything, he is Gucci.
Our final team on the roster is Reed and Rashad, cowboys and childhood friends from Chestnut Ridge, courtesy of TLQ34. Reed and Rashad started out as neighbors and then classmates, and they were just inseparable since. They even got their first horses at the same time, and that brotherly bond has stayed strong since. Now, as young adults, they still live next to each other and they try to hang out at least 3 times a week. They just have more responsibilities nowadays. Reed Seabolt is a bro, a rancher, and a horse lover who became a vegetarian after he witnessed his dad butcher a pig one time. Reed is an equestrian and spends majority of his time with his horse Blaze, as he competes to be the next champion horse rider. When he's not doing that, he's happily tending to his home ranch, or keeping his physique in tip-top shape by climbing the nearby cliffs. Rashad Burke is a stark difference from his brother from another mother, being the lazy daydreamer that is a little bit of a slob sometimes. He's a shepherd and spends minimal effort tending to the mini sheep and goats that his mother loves way too much and bought in droves. Once the chores are done, it's back to his video games or a little shooting at the gun range if he feels like walking more than 50 feet. Reed and Rashad are the best of bros, and their hangouts include line dancing, cracking a cold one, horse racing, or enduring Rashad's oddly melodic country singing. These boys just enjoy each other's company, and it often brightens up their day. When they heard that their hometown heroines Bronte and Zarina slayed on Big Brother and Survivor, they decide they gotta be the reps for the amazing race. But also, like, they literally have not left Chestnut Ridge their whole life, so this can be a great adventure or a disastrous one. Either way, they got each other, so that's already half the fun. Woo! We're finally done. I hope you've had a fun time learning about this stellar cast for The Sims Amazing Race 3. In just 1 week, these 28 knuckleheads will begin their race around the world in our split premiere. Who will race in which world, and how will this cast interact with one another? All will be answered in due time. But until then, take care, friendos. We're taking off very soon. Hey, thank you for all the hype and excitement that you've shown me this past 2 weeks. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like down below. It will help the channel out a bunch and make me a very happy man. Also, comment down who your early favorites are from this season. I always love seeing what you think. If you want more deets on the racers, including full profiles, join our Discord server in the link below for an early look. There's always some fun discussion going on in our community. Otherwise, no worries, these cast sheets will be shared on the community tab in the next week, so subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss those. I am beyond excited to begin this season, and I hope you are too. Thanks again so much for all your support again, friendos. I'll see you at the premiere.